when I last left you, we were talking about the setup of the transmitter. And I wanted to inform those of you that run Spektrum like I do. It is such an easy setup to use these bind and fly deals, the Spektrum bind and fly satellites. And again, all you do is plug in that 3-wire switch right there, 3-wire pin, and that runs directly to your satellite. And it's a plug and play, it says race receiver, however I've gone miles, at least a mile if not several, with them without absolutely any trouble. But I do run a very good controller. It's an older radio, but it's a Spektrum DX8. From what I've heard,
less radio, they made very high end with all effects gimbals. I don't know the entire story, but from what I know, it's a great radio, and I've always loved this radio. And it's a shame that I will be having to update soon because I'm going to I'm switching over to TBS for long range. I need my crossfire to work, so we are going to be probably.
But I wanted to let you know that if you're running Spektrum, recently a couple things have changed. A couple things have changed with either the Zohd setup or the satellite configuration, and I think it's the Zohd setup, because most people running FreeSky were complaining about the channel that the modes were on. And they are on different channels now. So I want to warn you, if you've had one of the original darts or one of the original Talons, and you originally it came where this was launch mode, middle was stabilized, and down was completely off. On the newer models, and again, I don't know if it's the stabilizer or the receivers, but I believe it's the stabilizers. It is, first of all, 0 auto takeoff, 1 is completely acro, and 2 all the way down stabilized. So stabilized, but not the beginner lift mode or auto takeoff, whatever you want to call it. Also, note that it is on the gear channel, at least for the DX8. I found it on my gear channel, so I just simply did a mix from the aux 1 to the gear channel, and we are good to go. And that literally took about 5 minutes, and I'm sorry that I didn't record it. It's been a very hectic day, and I'm trying to get all this in for you and smash it together into a quick video. But I've plugged it in, so I've already done my test of everything. I've tested it to make sure that the connections were good. I have not zip tied these down yet for flight or added my FPV gear, but I do know that all the connections are good and working, and there's no grounds or shorts anywhere. So we are safe to plug it in with the radio turned on now and the prop on. And there you go. There's your beautiful, oh, forgot we go this way. And I love that this is a 3300 mAh. If you didn't notice that, it can be used with a 1300 mAh, little 4S or 3S, and it can also be used with a 3300 mAh and balanced perfectly if you weren't putting very heavy gear in the nose. By the way, Spektrum users, digital servos, 11 milliseconds. Alright, so don't forget with this and with the with this Nanotalon and with the Zohd Orbit, they are both using digital servos. Therefore, you can use the 11 millisecond frame rate and get the faster refresh rate and faster times. Doesn't matter as much in planes, and I know the further that you get away the packets, blah blah blah, but it's nice to know. Alright, so look, if we put ourselves here in no stabilization mode, you can see that all of the surfaces are moving correctly. We can do the high five. Yeah. And of course, more than enough kick. Now I want to show you the launch mode, the auto assist launch. Try to watch the fins here as I turn it into this mode and give it the throttle required to take off in 3, 2, 1. you see the reflex there. That's not actually from me doing that. That's from the wing itself trying to take off. You hear it trying to constantly correct itself. Much faster action. And here you can see the auto leveling features if you look at the control surfaces. Trying to give you the best shot that I can. I know it's hard to see. Let's do this. Funny that this is perfectly balanced and ready to fly right now. It's just amazing. It wants to spring right out of my hands and just leap for joy. Anyways, this is a beautiful model. I've got that TX set up. You can go 11 milliseconds with your DSMX. If that's what you're using, I definitely recommend it. If you have a Spektrum remote that's a good one, I don't get why people tend to rag on them so much, because this has been nothing but wonderful for me, and I wish that I could incorporate the next generation of long-range gear into this particular radio. But this is absolutely a next generation flyer, and the next time I see you will either be to install the FPV gear in just a moment, or at the field. One of the two. Ready to go. Love it. Big up.